Welcome back, YouTube. It's Robert back at it again. Today I'm going to be reviewing 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's one of my favorite movies. I saw it at the movie theaters when it first came out. Was really impressed. I actually saw it twice at the theaters, believe it or not. It's like equal parts mystery, science fiction, horror. The movie starts out with her leaving her boyfriend, and not long after, she's on the road. I'm not for sure where she's going to, but she gets into a car accident, and she wakes up in someone's basement, or actually, it's a what would that be considered? I almost call it like a bomb shelter, but I guess we'll just go with like a underground shelter slash bunker. So she wakes up in the bunker. She doesn't know what's going on. Uh, just I see myself in that scenario, as I'm sure most people would. It's like, could you imagine waking up in this bunker, this strange guy? He's being kind of mysterious when she first interacts with him. She's like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I'm going to keep you alive. It's like, what does that mean? And then he just like walks off. So it's pretty, mysterious. You don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if you guys noticed the new addition to the family. I got my buddy right here. I probably should have started off the video introducing him. I guess we'll call him, man, what's a good name for this guy? His eyes are like popping out of his head. He's a mummy. I guess we'll call him Steve. He kind of looks like a Steve to me. And then he's right next to my fairly new Terminator picture, which is pretty sick. I guess that's probably like a T-101, so we got Steve and T. Anyway, back to the movie. So, when you see yourself in a scenario like this, it's like, what do you do? How do you get out? One of my favorite things about this movie is the main protagonist, Michelle. She basically does like everything I think I would do. She's a little bit more brave and hold on, I'm getting a message. She's a bit more brave and not quite as patient as I would be. One example is it's like the moment she wakes up, she figures out what's going on, she automatically starts trying to make a steak out of one of her crutches. We got a question already. Let me see. Do you think a bunker would be something necessary to have? Well, after seeing this movie, yeah, there's always wars going on all over the world. I guess I would say yes, just because it's better to be safe than sorry. So yeah, bunker. I mean, if I had more money, I'd get one. So yeah, that'd be something that if you can afford it, yeah, of course, get it. But yeah, she's a little bit like less patient than I would be. She then goes to burn something to almost like smoke Howard out or get him to come and like see what's going on, and then she wants to stake the guy. And I feel like I would give it a little bit more time before I would be like too aggressive with who is kidnapping me, you know. But that's just me. Um, I really like Michelle's character. We got another question. Can we come up with a better name than Steve for the mummy? Uh, so since he's a mummy, he's more than likely Egyptian. I don't know if we should call him White Adam or Light Skin Adam. uh, is that how you guys feel about Light Skin Adam as opposed to, or no, Light Skin Steve instead of Black Adam or Death Adam? We have another question. What exactly do you do if you were in this situation? What exactly would I do if I was in this situation? Well, let's hope this never happens to me. I try to be as safe as possible and take as less amount of chances as as possible. So, driving across country just by myself, like Michelle does in this, I couldn't really see myself doing that unless it was an emergency. And I mean, she's leaving her boyfriend, so I mean, to an extent, that could kind of be seen as like an emergency situation. But I just don't see myself kind of doing that. And then if I saw someone following me, I feel like I would notice. So that would kind of keep that anything like this scenario happening to me. But if it did happen, uh, yeah, I mean, I'd have to survive however I could. Would you believe his story about there being no survivors? That's a really good question. A lot of people are, there's like the old saying, learning the hard way. I feel like most people have to like see to believe, especially like there's no survivors, especially throughout the movie when she can hear people above ground and she hears activity. So it's kind of hard to convince someone that there's no survivors when you're hearing things going on above you, above ground. So I couldn't believe him just for the simple fact that I'm hearing, survivors. But yeah, but good question. So when she comes from, when she's finally able to be at her room in the bunker, she meets Emmett. And Emmett kind of throws the movie off because you're thinking she's a kidnapped victim. And the second Emmett is there and him and Howard, they don't really seem like they're in cahoots with each other. You're kind of able to like rest and feel she's safe. Even though as time goes on, you kind of see Howard really doesn't want Emmett there, but he's just kind of there. Uh, so there's an interesting dynamic when it comes to that. But, nonetheless, it kind of takes some of the tension away, which I kind of almost wish it was just Howard and Michelle, just because, it would be more tense, you know. But yeah, we have another question. Would you trust the other guy, Emmett, since he seemed like a victim too? Yeah, I would trust him. Emmett says that he knows Howard and I guess he helped him build the bunker. But Emmett, he seems like a pretty trustworthy guy. He's down to earth. He's not quite as weird. Well, he's not. I was gonna say he's not quite as weird as Howard, but Emmett's not really weird at all. He's just a regular type of person. We don't really know him, but he just seems like a regular guy. Howard, he kind of comes off as like paranoid. Um, he's very aggressive, bipolar possibly. I mean, I'm not like a psychologist or whatever, but Yeah, you can tell he has more than a couple things wrong with him. So, oh, we have another question. Never mind. Uh, but yeah, so Howard, he's someone that it would just be kind of hard to believe just because he's kind of like awkward and off. But yeah, some of my favorite scenes in this movie were just like Howard and Emmett and Michelle's like interactions, kind of unfolding the mystery of the movie. Just really trying to figure it out myself. And one of those scenes is definitely when Michelle goes for the door. She manages to take Howard's keys. She makes it upstairs. She's getting ready to escape, and she runs into a lady that's basically waiting for her at the door, almost. And she starts interacting with the lady, and you can see she has like this rash, or her face is burned. Um, at first, she kind of seems reasonable, but then as the seconds tick by, she's like losing her patience. She calls Michelle a bitch, and she starts slamming her head against the door. And at that point, you're like, man, maybe there is like an alien invasion. And then Michelle, she seems like she kind of accepts that what Howard is saying, what Howard and Emmett is saying, is true. And because of that, she starts to like relax and let down her hair. She's becomes like one of the family almost. They're playing like games and watching movies and stuff together. It's not until later on in the movie when she has to restart the air. A ship like passed by above them and it turned off their like generator, and then the she had to restart the air filtration unit. So while she's doing that, she has to go through this vent and all this. She's the only one that can get through the vent. So while she's doing that, she sees a message that we initially think it's Howard's daughter, that we believe it's her that left the message. But when Emmett and Michelle talk later on, we realize that more than likely Howard did abduct a woman or a young lady, and he is a kidnapper, and he held her there. And the guy's a piece of crap, so they start planning a way to get out of there. um, and while they're taking steps to get out, we have another message. While they're taking the steps to get out, Howard sees that they had been using like some scissors and like another thing to, or like a little knife or something to cut, and he believes that they're planning to kill him. Which, I mean, technically, they're not planning to kill him. I guess they're just gonna like capture him, and then one's gonna get out and like look for help. Excuse me, 1 second. So we have another question. Uh, would you recommend this movie to a woman so they can take pointers if they are ever in that position? Yeah, because Michelle, she really does what I feel a lot of people should do if they are kidnapped. She automatically makes a weapon. She starts a fire, in order to almost like smoke out her kidnapper. Um, she's really smart. I really like movies like this, to where it's like the heroine or the hero, they do everything I feel like I would do, and then even more. So, you have like your damsels in distress, and then you have someone like Michelle that's doing like everything she can to survive. And because that's more realistic, and it gives you ideas to what you would do or could do if you were in that scenario. So yeah, I would say yeah, because you could like learn from what she's doing if you are in this scenario. So yeah, I would. um would you have opened the door? So would I have opened the door for the other survivor? Man, because I don't know exactly what's going on. The I probably would if she didn't have the burns or like the rash on her face. I'm pretty sure I would. But seeing that rash on her face, I'd be like, I don't want to get that. So we're gonna have to wait it out. You know, I'd have to I'd have to have a more than a couple of questions for that lady before I would be able to let her in. Uh, we have another question. Maybe you could save her life since Walter, I think you mean Howard, since Howard has everything necessary to help her. Yeah, Howard does have a lot of stuff, but he'd be so against it. He's so paranoid, and then you got to keep in mind Howard. He does wouldn't want like someone like tracking in any kind of uh, like germs or anything from the aliens, or he just wouldn't want to bring anything in like that. So it wouldn't necessarily be a good idea just because Howard's reaction to her, you know, it can almost have him like kill both of them. Since we see like later on in the movie, he kills Emmett without even thinking about it. And speaking of Emmett, when they do get caught by Howard, the guy, he just really says the wrong thing. He's like, I wanted to get your gun so Michelle could respect me. It's like, dude, where did you see like that going? Howard just really doesn't seem like the type that could forgive something like that. Why would you tell him uh you're trying to get his gun? I mean, he already doesn't. I feel like Emmett at that point in time, or actually even earlier in the movie, he should know that Howard doesn't want him there. So I mean, to say something like that and the guy already doesn't want you there, it's just not the best idea. But yeah, Howard blows his brains out, and then it kind of like sets off Michelle to just really want to get out of there. So Howard, I feel like he starts like how their relationship would be if Emmett wasn't there. And he's like bringing her ice cream. He's talking like a little bit more like mysterious and weird. He shaves, you know. I feel like he's basically the second Emmett dies, he's behaving like how he would have behaved if Emmett wasn't there the entire time, which was really intriguing. I wish we could have saw a bit more than that, but he ends up seeing her. He ends up seeing her bunny suit that she's going to escape with, and then it kind of sets off the last part of the movie to where he's going to, I don't know if he's gonna like want to kill her or whatever, but I don't know, because he grabs her by the hair and she escapes, so we don't see what he's actually gonna do. But it just made me curious, like what would he do if he did like have the opportunity to punish her for building the hazmat suit, the buddy suit. But we don't get to see it because Michelle escapes, and then we get to the third act to where we realize that everything Harold was saying was true, and they're in an alien invasion. Find that pretty interesting. I'd like to see like everything that happened, like the first day that the aliens were there, more of the aliens. Uh, because aliens were really cool in this movie. There's like a boots on the ground alien that chases her, and the skin, it looks like it's made like almost from like a non-organic material. It almost looks like metal. Maybe it's armor. It almost looks like a cat though. Um, and then there's a flying alien. It almost reminds me of like one of the aliens from Avengers, which was pretty cool. And it's laying down like gas. We don't really know like what the gas does. I guess it really only makes like skin rashes. Well, maybe not. There's some pigs that are dead, but yeah, we don't really know what the gas does, and I'm kind of curious about what it would do. We have another question. But he forgave the girl when she tried to get the keys. Yeah, but he doesn't want Emmett there though. If like throughout the movie, whenever Emmett is talking too much, Howard is just like, be seen but not heard. Especially the first time they have dinner together, Howard, he seems like really hostile towards Emmett. So he just doesn't want him there. But I do feel like if Emmett would have had a better excuse, or if he would have just let Michelle talk, he probably would have survived. But he just kind of talked too much. Okay, another question. He really wants to have the place in his own so he can prey on her like he did the girl he kidnapped, but Emmett ruined that dynamic. Yeah, uh, and I don't know. I kind of would like to have seen more of after Emmett died, or if Emmett wasn't there, because Howard's character was really like interesting, and if Emmett wasn't there, we would have got more of it, and that would have been really cool. But yeah, but I did like Emmett's character. I just found like the Howard and Michelle would have been more intriguing to me. Just them, like what would have happened. But Emmett was there. He was cool. Well, it happens. We have another question. It makes him mad that his potential lover escapes. I don't think he would kill her personally. Yeah, because when she is escaping, when she's in the vent and he's for some strange reason like stabbing the vent, he's telling her, I think he says like, don't go, and like other things of like that nature. He's not like, I'm just gonna cut your head off. You're gonna pay for what you did to me, giving me this acid bath. And we have another question. What would you do when you saw the alien ship flying towards you? Uh, I would have seen that ship and just like where it was in the sky and how it was moving. I think I would have kind of figured that it was more than likely an alien ship and the noises that it was making. So because I'm a chicken shit. So because I don't really know where I am, and the noises that thing was making and where it was in the sky was like pretty low. We don't really have the technology like um the only thing that could hover like that would be almost like a helicopter, right? And you would be able to see the blades. Um and you would probably hear it from where she was. So in my mind I would be like, what the hell is that? And then I would automatically get off the truck that she was standing on, and I'd probably like get in the back seat and wait for it to go. then I would go inside Howard's house and look around. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be standing on top of the truck. I know that the reason why the the creature started to come towards her was because of the explosions. But yeah, the second one of the explosions like went off, I would automatically ran in the house or just got inside the car. I wouldn't have just been kind of standing there and looking and taking everything in. Yeah, that's not something I would do. But yeah, so then she sees these creatures and they chase her. She outsmarts them. And then she blows up the big flying creature with this Molotov cocktail that she creates on the fly, which was really cool. I could have never have done that. I would have been, frozen stiff. I would have been like a dead body or something. The second that the yeah, I would have been like light skinned Steve over here. I would have just not been able to move. Uh, but yeah, so she blows that up. She um, survives, and then she goes off like on her own, and she hears over the radio like go to Baton Rouge or Houston. Go to Houston if you want to like seek refuge, or go to Baton Rouge if you have like military or like medical experience. And she ends up going to fight the good fight, and it kind of all ties in because she tells Emmett the story about how she saw this little girl getting like pulled on by her father in this hardware store, and she said that she was like afraid to say something. And then it's like at the end of the movie, she takes on this giant creature that can fly, and well, she takes on Howard too, and he's this big, huge guy. So she like gets past her fear. She grows as a person. She becomes a better person, and the movie ends her being a hero. Really good movie. If I had to rate it, I think I'd go like 9.5 out of 10. Um, yeah, just a great movie. And if we don't have any questions, I'm going to end it. I really appreciate the interactions with my fans. I will always love you guys. I love all of you. I'll always love you. If you're following me, you obviously have a great taste. And I just want you to know that I appreciate you all. And have a good day. I'm actually going to upload another scary stories video today. So check that out. Over and out.